If you want to get into cosmic horror but you don't know where to start, this video is for you. You see, cosmic horror is a genre with varying degrees of intensity. Sometimes you need to be familiar with certain concepts or ideas, as well as be in the right headspace. That's why I split these degrees of intensity into 7 different levels. The earlier ones are where you can dip your toes in, but as we go on, it's going to get more and more unhinged. And with this, I want to help you through the so-called gates of cosmic horror and see you off to different dimensions. By the way, this is all part of a series I'm working on called Comprehending Cosmic Horror, so if you like what you see, please like and please subscribe. It will help the channel immensely. Okay, so let's start off with something simple. For the first level, I'd like to call it grounded cosmic horror. This is because I think viewers would benefit from something more familiar to get used to the concepts, the ideas, and the tropes that often appear in cosmic horror stories. So this is basically the tip of the iceberg. For this level, the movie I want to suggest is Ridley Scott's Alien. It was made in the 80s, so basically it's like it was made in ancient times. That's a testament to how well it was made because of how ingrained it has become in pop culture. But the real beauty of it is its accessibility to people wanting to go deeper into cosmic horror. The very premise of the movie is that there's a transport ship in space that comes across a distress signal on their way back to Earth. They're required to answer it, and it brings them to a stray planet located near the path of their ship. They check on the ship that was sending the signal, only to discover that it was an alien ship with a dead alien on it. Before returning to the ship, one of the crew members is attacked and brings into their own ship another kind of alien creature. Now, there's this scene right before all this happens that just evokes a sense of cosmic horror for me. It's when they arrive at the ship sending the distress signal, and the camera zooms out to show the ship looking like an ancient megastructure. Its outside is far from the conventional shape we know spaceships to be, and its internal structure looks almost organic. Now, as a story, Alien is pretty simple. There's a nigh unbeatable alien chasing you around a spaceship. But at its core, the sheer mystery of having something like this out there in the wider universe is enough to make you feel smaller. This feeling in itself is actually something that cosmic horror often tackles. But that's not all. In the movie, we also see some other typical cosmic horror tropes like body horror. The real trick, however, is the framing of it all. Because they use aliens, some see it as pure science fiction, and that's way easier to digest. However, because of some of the elements used in the narrative, some might think of it as horror, and others, like me, might think of it as cosmic horror. This kind of multifaceted approach to its storytelling elements and tropes are what make it a good starting point for cosmic horror. Whatever your take on the genre is, it does have a lot of those cosmic horror tropes and elements and ideas, which is why we'll be building on those in level 2, which is what I would like to call perceptual cosmic horror. Perception is often a concept that cosmic horror tries to question. That's why body horror is such a standard trope in it. Since we perceive the world through our senses, cosmic horror tries to make you feel disconnected to what you know and how you perceive reality. It's more like a tool that cosmic horror uses to make us look past how we normally see things. In John Carpenter's The Thing, we explore some of the ideas that Alien began to touch on. Just like Alien, it has ingrained itself in pop culture despite not having a franchise built around it. That says a lot about how good the movie is. In The Thing, we follow a group of researchers in Antarctica as they take in a dog being chased by another group of researchers. They're trying to kill the animal, injuring a member of the research crew that we follow, which leads them to retaliate. They're able to save the dog, but the pursuers are left dead. However, it's not long before they find out that maybe they should have let the dog be caught. Because it wasn't long before the dog turned into an alien creature wanting to assimilate with all life on Earth. One of the most memorable moments in the movie is when the main character and another crew member go to check on the researchers that were chasing the dog. There, all they find is the wreckage that was once the research facility. But there's this particularly simple scene that makes you feel that sense of cosmic dread. As they go in deeper into the facility, they see a block of ice that looks like a tomb. The center of it looks like it was melted off, and the thing inside it was let loose. It was such a short and simple moment, but it's enough to make you feel that sense of dread that something weird is going on. The best thing about this is that they double down on it right away with a scene where they find some disfigured creature right outside. In Alien, we spend much of the movie focusing on the survival of the main character. In The Thing, we spend the movie focusing on the nature of the creature and its implications were it to get access to the outside world. We're exposed to much of the core elements of cosmic horror like cosmic dread, body horror, and existential horror. But the next level takes all of that and examines it under a microscope. It takes all of the elements, concepts, ideas, and tropes and lets it simmer in our minds. That's why I'd like to call this level conceptual cosmic horror. And the way that it works is that you not only question the what and the how, but also the why. One of the best movies that have done this is Alex Garland's Annihilation, which was based off the book of Jeff Vandermeer. It follows a team of ex-soldiers and scientists as they journey into the Shimmer, an area that began to expand around the crash site of an extraterrestrial object. We follow the story through Lena's eyes, whose husband went into the Shimmer with another team, only to come back a changed person. Any attempts at questioning him fades when he falls into a coma almost immediately after he exits the Shimmer. Despite the slow burn of the movie, as soon as the Shimmer is shown, the movie takes full advantage of all the cosmic horror elements that they can. There's this moment when Lena comes across one of the bases that her husband used during his time in the Shimmer, and they see a camera with a note to watch it. There, it showed how one of his team members was affected by the Shimmer. The analog feeling of the recording and the video playing really evokes that sense of subtle terror that you feel when you don't understand what's happening. They double down on this through the next scene where they locate the infected member now growing into the walls of an empty swimming pool, an amalgam of human and mold. Throughout the story, there's this play between reality and the abstract. The movie is full of symbolism and metaphors that when you rewatch makes you question the nature of what you just saw. At this stage, you're still grounded enough to make sense of it through science. However, we're about to expand beyond that. That is why I would like to call this level reality-bending cosmic horror. You see, the nature of cosmic horror is one that continuously questions what's out there. And I don't just mean aliens or other planets, I mean other dimensions as well. And to be able to do that, you're going to have to take some liberties with reality. In the movie Event Horizon, we follow a rescue crew sent to investigate a spaceship that reappeared after 7 years. The twist here is that the spaceship that disappeared was fitted with a device that lets it travel through wormholes to achieve intergalactic travel. The man who made this device was now sent as part of the new investigation crew. However, pretty soon, we discover that maybe the device didn't just let the spaceship, the Event Horizon, travel through space, but dimensions as well. Now, there's this certain kind of aesthetic with cosmic horror where structures have symbols or ornate designs that evoke a kind of ancient or unknown element to it. I found it a surprise that the movie was able to merge the sci-fi and occult aesthetic in a way that fit the movie perfectly. That moment for me was when they first board the Event Horizon and see the massive device. And right from that moment, you'll feel and you'll see that something's wrong or even malevolent with this device. This amalgamation of science and the occult sets the tone for the rest of the movie. So this is where Event Horizon shines as cosmic horror. First, it grounds you with science through all the technological framing, but then it takes you through dimensions once they pierce the veil of reality. It takes us away from the scientific confines that ground us to this reality and open the gates to the realm of the unknown. So with Event Horizon, we've explored what's probably or possibly outside our universe. But what if we go even further? And what if we do it right here on Earth? Cosmic horror doesn't need to stick to aliens, space, or scientific concepts to explore the genre. In fact, we can stay right here on Earth. We don't need to follow scientists all the time, and instead we can follow people with regular jobs, just stumble onto beings of cosmic proportions. That's why, for this level, I'd like to call it extra-dimensional cosmic horror. And this is when the movie The Void comes in. It follows a small-town cop as he picks up an injured man and takes him to the hospital. Instead of the slow burn of the past movies, this movie picks up right from the get-go. As soon as he brings the man to the hospital, strange things begin happening. Suddenly, a nurse experiences a psychotic break and kills a patient. After that, the hospital is suddenly surrounded by hooded people. And after that, the nurse that killed the guy Sci-Fi? Yeah, she's a monster now. And this avalanche of cosmic horror doesn't really end here, but instead, it ramps up even more. About halfway through the movie, the cop and a few others begin descending the hospital in hopes of finding the source of all of this. And what I like about this part is as they go deeper, reality itself begins to unravel. They don't know what to believe anymore, and at the end of it all, there is no relief for our protagonists. Instead, there are only more questions and more implications. So yeah, in The Void, we didn't really need aliens or outer space to explore the unknown. The movie shows us that there are doors to other dimensions right here in our home turf. The movie shows us that we don't need to look for horrors beyond our imagining out in the wider universe because they might already be here. Okay, so now we've explored our planet, outer space, the edge of the universe, and beyond. But again, what if we go further? What if we go to other planes of existence? You see, cosmic horror isn't a genre that lets itself be limited. It likes pushing the boundaries of what's possible, and it explores every avenue that presents itself. Beyond different dimensions, we now look into different planes of existence. That's why I would like to call this level extraplanar cosmic horror. For this level, the movie Color Out of Space comes to mind. This is a movie based on the story written by the progenitor of the cosmic horror genre as we know it now, H.P. Lovecraft. In this movie, we follow a family trying to make a fresh start after battling a sickness that had inflicted one of their own. They move and try their luck as alpaca farmers because apparently, alpacas are the animals of the future. It's a rocky start, but there were instances of hopeful moments where they seem to be finding their bearings. All that comes to a halt as soon as something crashes into their backyard and transmogrifies the whole area. We don't really have to wait long before something otherworldly happens in the movie, and there's this moment during the crash that lets you know that it's over for the family because as the object or being passes by, a light shines on every member. We see the brother drooling blankly in front of his computer, the youngest outside his parents' bedroom screaming, overwhelmed by everything that's happening, and the sister peacefully sleeping under occult books. The thing I like best about the movie is how it takes a normal concept like color and transforms it into something beyond our comprehension. To us, color is just color, but within the confines of the cosmic horror genre, it's the manifestation of a being from another plane of existence. It doesn't need to explain itself, it just is. But we aren't even done yet, because even though we've already explored other planets, dimensions, and planes of existence, there's still one more level. Let me ask you, once you've crossed all those, what's left to question? The answer is reality itself. That's why I would like to call this level unbounded cosmic horror, because not even reality can contain it. The Empty Man and the Lighthouse tackles this concept really well. In The Empty Man, we follow an ex-cop trying to help his friend find her daughter. What unravels isn't only a mystery, but reality itself as the movie goes on. There's this one creepy scene where the cop finds a group trying to summon an entity as they run around the bonfire, and out of nowhere, they stop, they look at him, and they start chasing him through the dark. Now, for The Lighthouse, it's way more unhinged than unbounded by reality. But the way it plays out just leaves you wanting answers and questioning what was real in the first place. That's why I counted it here. To be honest, level 7 isn't everyone's cup of tea. Sometimes you're looking for a spectacle or something big to happen when it's not really coming. So for me, personally, I like staying at levels 1 to 6. But if you're in for something more abstract, level 7 will be the one for you. That said, I've arranged all of these movies to take you through the gates of cosmic horror and to hurl you into the infinite nothingness of the void. This is just my take on it, so if you have any other ideas or any other movies you'd like to suggest, please let me know down in the comments. And if you enjoyed this, please check out my series, Comprehending Cosmic Horror. There's another video right here. Please like, please subscribe, and I hope to see you there.